Hi, everyone. Again, it's day 2 at Finance Magnets London Summit. I'm joined now by Ingmar Mattus, who is a co-founder and executive director at Tickmill. Ingmar, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today. I know we're all very busy.
It's a pleasure, Nikolai. Thank you for inviting.
So it's the day 2. The conference is almost wrapping up. I hope that you had a chance to roam around, speak to partners, vendors, things like that. What is your impression of this event as compared to some of the events that we see each other at earlier this year?
Yes, it's been an interesting event, and we've come here for almost every year, and it's a good place to meet partners, meet technology providers, meet clients, also introducing brokers, and it's definitely one of these events where we come every year, and with great pleasure actually.
Great, awesome. If we talk shop for a minute, if we talk Metatrader, it's a hot topic these days. MetaQuotes just recently released an update to the MT5 web terminal to make it basically compatible with Apple devices. Do you think that this solution is going to be like a permanent solution, or is it still temporary in the sense that traders might not be ultimately happy with it and will continue to find alternatives, much like maybe they did in the very beginning when the whole situation began?
I mean, first of all, I think MetaQuotes has done an amazing job in terms of developing these platforms over the years, and I believe none of us would be here today if these products would not be around, because for many firms, including us, that was actually one of the cornerstones what made the launch of the firm possible. But at the same time, it's definitely problematic that the app is not there, and when clients have their let's say habits, they are accustomed to, let's say, certain platforms, and then when suddenly these platforms are not around, then it's of course difficult, and it creates certain frictions among clients and also the brokerage firms, because we have to find alternatives, and it makes the life of almost everyone difficult.
And Tickmill actually has its own self-named mobile app. Are you seeing that traders have flocked to that app, in absence of an Apple-related solution from MetaQuotes? And now that MetaQuotes has released this solution, do you think your traders will migrate back to the Meta app? I mean, to the web version of the Meta app, or they will stay in your native one?
For sure, we have seen tremendous growth in terms of the user base of our own app, and for the better part of the last 2.5 years, we've been actually developing a lot our own proprietary technology, and certainly app was one of them. Having said that, I would still hope that the apps from MetaQuotes will still become available on the App Store, because I believe that the products that MetaQuotes has developed, the standalone platforms and the web platforms, that they are here to stay. They are not going to disappear, and hence it's definitely very critical that the apps would come back. And even if I take if I look things outside of our firm, then every platform provider out there currently who is providing platforms to brokers, banks, and so forth, they have as part of the package also an app in the App Store, and hence it's extremely critical for MetaQuotes to return with this app to the App Store.
Do you think it will be essential in the future to have, like, for a broker to have a native app, and also the one that has been used many years and is the most popular in the world, right? Like, kind of have a synergy of both.
I believe there will always be apps that are, let's say, third-party apps, and that gain popularity, and even the brokers who develop their own proprietary technology and apps, they still have to also look around, and if there are third-party apps that are popular, obviously you have to introduce these products also to clients. And we've seen it all over the world, so firms who have let's say, developed since day one their own technology, many of them still offering MetaQuotes products as well. But what this incident has shown is that it is mandatory for, let's say, large brokers who have finances to develop their own software, because at the end of the day, the responsibility is also a little bit on our side. If a third party, let's say, platform fails, then the clients look at us. They don't look at the platform provider, because we need to make sure that whatever technology we put out there is actually reliable, and clients can always download, log in, and trade on these apps. So it's also a moment for brokers to look into the mirror and see how they can mitigate similar issues in the future. Yes.
Great. Also, Tickmill, you guys launched crypto CFDs, I think quite recently, before basically some of the price pressures and things that we have seen with the crypto markets. Unfortunately, now we have the situation with the collapse of FTX. I guess I want to get your impression on where do you think things will be headed in terms of maybe crypto volatility? Because I know that's an issue that brokers and exchanges are dealing with now. Do you think, that this was, some people are saying this was a Lehman Brothers moment with FTX. I think you had a chance, you and I were in Chicago for the FI Expo. I'm not sure if you had a chance to see the panel with the CFTC chairman and some of the comments he made there. Yes. Kind of what is your impression both on the regulatory side, what's going to be happening in the future, and on the volatility side in terms of the products that you actually currently offer?
Yes, indeed. I mean, these are definitely very, very interesting times, and for sure it feels like the last financial crisis or some of the banks that went under. And we've been in crypto space for some time, and we don't, of course, deal with physical cryptos. We create CFDs on cryptos. There is a lot of caution among clients in various sectors of the financial industry, and people are looking and trying to figure out if any of their counterparties had exposure to FTX and so forth. And in terms of the crypto products as a whole, then I don't believe cryptos will disappear, but what this incident and some other previous incidents have shown is that the decentralized model where there are no central, let's say, governmental authorities involved or regulators, or there is literally no oversight. It simply doesn't work, because you need to have a bad actor in one of the parts of the chain, and you have an accident down the road. The result of FTX collapse, as I understand, is that, and we've heard it also from the chairman of the CFTC in US, that there is going to be a tremendous push from the regulators to regulate this whole space now. And the way we understand is that for the retail audience, probably the best venue for crypto-related products is a regulated futures exchange, where brokers are on one side and then the clearinghouse, the exchange, is on the other side, and each and every party has their own responsibilities, because there is no other way how to make sure that we don't have similar incidents in the future. So, to sum it up, I think cryptos are not going to disappear, but the trend is clearly dead. So I've attended a number of conferences recently, and even among, let's say, venture capitalists, many people are saying that if you're looking for funds now as a startup, then try to avoid words crypto and blockchain in your presentation. And so that's the result of all of these incidents now.
So we touched upon crypto. What do you think we should expect from the FX side of the business going forward in 2023? We have multiple things impacting both the volatility, the trading, and also the companies as well. Interest rates, inflation. Carry trades are back, right? What do you think is going to happen to the FX market going forward in 2023?
I think where the industry has been going, and where we will definitely continue to go, is fully multi-asset. That it is impossible to compete in today's market by offering only one set of products. So it's definitely FX, CFDs, equities, options, futures, and because the yields are now there, it's also bonds, what we are hearing as of late. And I believe the industry is going to consolidate further, and it's very likely that if you take, for example, Europe, that we are going to see the same trends that took place in the US many years ago, where at the end of the day there is going to be a handful of brokers remaining. These brokers are extremely well capitalized. So if I take, for example, Tickmill, so our shareholder equity today is close to 100 million euros. So we are extremely well capitalized. We don't have any creditors, and we can withstand low volatility periods, we can withstand high volatility periods, and so forth. And for sure a new trend, and that was probably triggered also by this Metatrader incident, is that brokers are more and more looking towards building their own technology. Because even if you think of interest of shareholders, for example, then the valuation of a firm that operates on the basis of their own technology is way, way higher than a firm that operates purely on the basis of third-party technology. And the added value is that when you operate on your own technology, then you provide a very unique experience to your clients. So clients who are already with you and love the platform, for example, then it is almost impossible for them to go elsewhere because they don't get the same experience anymore. But in order to build our own technology, you of course need to be a sizable firm already, because it's capital. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yes.
So in other words, when you speak about consolidation, I think maybe it's a combination of factors. It's time to market in terms of these new technologies, proprietary technologies that companies will have to build, and also risk management, really, yes. Right? In terms of the volatility and everything else that's going on in the market, on the market itself, or in the market.
Yes, I mean, absolutely, because I mean, in today's market, where because of the war in Ukraine, inflation, and all these other factors affecting the market, it's extremely difficult to launch a broker as a startup now, and because you need to have immense amount of capital, and you need to have compliance, you need to have technology, you need to be able to hire good talented people, and I mean, we have 250 employees globally, so headquartered London. And what the benefit, maybe the positive out of all of this inflationary environment, and let's say, you could say even a little bit of economic crisis here and there, is that it's a little bit easier now to hire people, because I remember in the past, and let's say even in the last 10 years, where the capital was freely available to any project, then it was extremely difficult to hire people, because everyone was paying insane salaries to development folks and so forth. But we are seeing, because of the trends that have been taking place as of late, that the whole market, in fact, is normalizing. I believe only, let's say, firms that have a good capital base, solid technology, good customer service, approach markets with a localized approach, and take good care of their clients, have procedures in place. I think only these firms will survive, because you need to have really stable operational model to withstand these, let's say, inflationary and economic issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. It's trying times, so to say, for us. Switching to institutional, is there any updates on the Tickmill Prime offering?
Yes, indeed. So we have done a lot of work on the futures and options side. So what we've seen over the years is that many of the institutional clients who originally signed up with us for the, let's say, FX offering or CFD offering, many of these firms also trade on the futures market. So we've launched futures and options products with expanded exchanges that we connect to. And we have a large number of platforms that we support. And of course, for next year, we will definitely expand into, let's say, equities markets. So we are going to focus on launching more and more shares on the US side and on the European side, and that's probably one of the core items that we will focus next year.
For next year, for 2023?
Yes, indeed, yes.
Great, that sounds very promising. I know that equity, especially fractional equities, are the rage right now, especially in the United States, Canada, and things like that. You know, millennial traders, people that do not have a large deposit that they can put down in their trading account. And also, if you look at the price of some of the big name stocks, even though the equity markets unfortunately also have fallen this year, a lot of these stocks are still quite expensive for your small or even average retail investors. So I think that that's something definitely exciting for you guys for next year, and we'll be happy to cover that news when it comes about.
Absolutely, and one thing maybe to add to the end is that firms who are operating with let's say large or decent capital base should definitely, in these markets that we have today, should definitely continue focusing on marketing and sales, because what we are seeing is that there is definitely less competition out there when it comes to let's say entering new markets and so forth. So oftentimes when you have an economic crisis, for example, people pull the plugs or press the brakes and stop certain activities or reduce the marketing budget and so forth. So we are definitely not doing that, and of course one of the reasons why we can do that is we have a very good capital base, and that's something to tell to others as well, that continue growing your business, focus on technology, entering new markets, and because markets, like we all know, go up and down. So after every downturn there is an uptrend, and we should take this into consideration when managing our companies.
So we should all take this actually as an opportunity, and not be Debbie Downers, as they say in American English, and just go cry in the corner. Well, Ingmar, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I know you're very busy. It was a pleasure to meet you, and we wish you the best of luck in 2022 and to new beginnings in 2023. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nikolai.